Hi guys, welcome back. Cliff Harvey RC Planes. Tonight I'm covering the tailplane for the Guillow's Chipmunk and elevator. I'll start with the tailplane. So wish me luck, because it's a very delicate structure, 16th balsa. Yeah, I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to put some hinges in later on. So it's just climbed up to 120. Let's just give it a go, see if we get in there. Okay, let's trim it off a bit. I can take that over the top. Same with that one. I'll leave the ends because I'm going to take it up as far as I can and then trim it. Whatever you do, guys, do not tighten it out on one side. You'll end up with a, unless you're making a propeller, because that's what it'll look like. Okay, so that's the bottom covered. Just do the top and then we can try and shrink it out, see what happens. Well, I think that's as good as it's going to get, ladies and gentlemen. All I've got to do now is to shrink it. This is what I'm going to do, is just take the temperature down for a start, I think, because I want it to shrink very slightly. So I'll just whack that down to 110. While it's cooling down, I'll just come back to you in a minute. Okay guys, it's dropped to 110 now, so I'm going to just gently wipe it over the top very quickly, like that. I know hardly anything happened, but I want hardly anything to happen equally, so just experimenting with the heat here, because different structures require different heat. This is heating up the structure very quickly because it's so thin, so I don't need much heat. So I've just turned it down again, but it hasn't stretched away. I've got the overlap just right. That actually is better than I thought it would come out. I thought it might warp a lot more than that. Just going to try tightening it now and see what happens. Gently that side. Yeah, happy with that, guys. That's stayed nice and flat for me. Right guys, this is the what I've got so far. Tail is covered, the fin and fairing is covered, and I've just got to cover the elevator and rudder. I've put the hinges in already for the very, very fine plastic. They were about 3mm by 6mm. 5 in the elevator and a couple in the rudder. That's plenty. And the slots, it's all ready. The slots are in, and I've made some little horns. There's a little horn. Let's see if we can focus. Got to put the hole in the end yet, and that'll just, well, you can see how it goes. It'll go in that little slot after I covered it. It's just a dab of super glue and it's in. And then push the elevator onto the tailplane, and then just wipe a little bit of super glue using a pin into the end of the hinge, and that'll hold it all beautifully. So pretty good progress, and then I shall be able to mount those onto the aircraft itself. That's it for now. Thanks for looking in. like and subscribe. Okay, rudder done. Now all I've got to do is to offer it up next to the fin, transfer the position of the hinges, pop the knife through, and it's going to be done. We're getting there slowly but surely, because I'm actually working on another project which you can't see. It's really good though. So I'll catch you all next time. Okay guys, quick video. I've just popped the tailplane on, hinged and glued on the Chipmunk, and now I'm going to pop on the rudder. I'll cut those little hinges down a little bit more, from like 3mm down to nearer 2, and I've just made a horn up out of bamboo skewer, and so now I'm about to, all I do is to put that one on like that, get it in the correct position, make sure it's got enough gap there to flex properly. That's probably too much. Just open that up. Looks about right. And then all I do is to put down a little blob of super glue and get a little pin. Put a glue on the end, and then just a small bit, a drip on there. That will get pulled into the hinge. Same with the bottom one. That will get pulled into the hinge. And turn it over. Do the same again on this side. So that's that one hinged. So we're getting closer. Next job is to offer it up to the tailplane, but I've got to obviously cut a slot where the fin is going to glue onto the fuselage. So I've got to mark that up next. I've just put some epoxy down the base of the fin, so now I'm going to try and stick it in position. Now I expect we've all got weird and wonderful ways. I've got a couple of pieces of blue tack on the elevator, and I've got these sockets out the garage to keep the fuselage from moving about. I've got it propped up at the end. So in theory all I've got to do is to now drop this in position between the blue tack without anything moving, and it's got to go about there. That doesn't look too bad actually. Offered it up a few times, of course. This is where it'll all go pear-shaped when I start pressing it in, and one bit will do it. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to get any better than that, to be honest. I've still got the fairing to fit on, which I've cut off for the sake of making life a little bit easier. So I'll cut that in a minute, because I think it's slightly too long. It's just touching the cockpit. So when the fin is dry, I'll cut that to size. To stick it onto the film, I put a little pinhole every millimetre all the way up, in the hope that I might use this small amount of CA. There we are. I'll let that dry and come back to it in a minute. Okay, just bending up the undercarriage. I was just thinking here about possibly a revised colour scheme, which I'm thinking might look quite good. Yeah, found this little pair of rubber wheels off of a indoor flyer. They're the right colour, they run well, and they're already in little stub axles, so they don't chafe on the wire. That's good. Let's cut the other one, fix that in with epoxy, and hopefully that will be strong enough to take 1 or 2 landings. But yeah, there you go. There's an undercarriage in. I'm going to glue that in with epoxy, and hopefully it won't get bashed out. It'll wreck the wing if it does. Okay, back shortly. Right guys, this is one of the trickiest parts of the whole operation, and that is gluing the wings on. I've made a pair of dihedral supports under each wing, also gluing the leading and trailer extended the main spar so as I can connect it up on the inside. Okay, in she goes. Another critical part of this is because I don't want to get epoxy everywhere, just where it needs to go. So, and that's it. So I'll let that set and we'll come back to that tomorrow and increase. I've got a hole in the bottom of the fuselage, so I'll join the two main spars together. I've got the hole in the bottom of the fuselage. I've placed a little hook in, reinforced in the side for the round the pole attempt, but there's the two main spars coming in from each side, which I'm now going to reinforce with two little bits of balsa either side. And I'm going to do that using aliphatic, a little bit on each end, won't hurt. Okay, plenty of glue on there. I don't want to drop this because it will go down inside and not come up again. Aliphatic there and there. Not being rubber powered, I don't have to be quite so concerned about weight. Put the clamp on it. There we are. So there it is, and it's dry. And as soon as that's dry, I can replace the 3 pieces of a stringer which I removed. As you see, I've cut them at an angle. Should be able to just CA those straight back in and pop the film back on. Next thing to work on is going to be the control rod ends, but before I cut those length, I just want to make sure the servos are centered. The other thing I've done, I've put a little aerial on the back. Look, it's only plastic, so it can take as much hits as you like. It's never going to break. Okay, right, let's try and do this on my knees. So I fixed up the controls, rudder, elevator underneath, but I'll just show you under the canopy. So that's the installation. The battery sits on the top. I've put a little hoop over the end of this servo to protect the cable from going in it, but that works really well. And a motor without prop. So I'm getting there now, guys. I thought I'd give you a little close up of that. Just mix some epoxy to glue on the cowling. Now I've left a little bit of plain balsa around the front edge of the film. Down over the front. There you go, a blue nose. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. So I've just put I've retained the wheels with a little bit of heat shrink tube in there, guys. So now I'm just pushing these in, just temporarily, because I've got to make the ODOs yet. Okay, and I've just wound the prop on, so that's starting to look like a finished aeroplane. Yeah, I've just had an idea. Shall I run it across the kitchen floor? That's a great idea. Let's power up. Okay. Ready? I'm going to open the throttle for the first time. I nearly turned it then. It actually runs very well indeed. rudder. I love the arc on the prop. Look at that. I'd say it was impressive. Beautiful little aeroplane. Yeah, it's the hangers round there, see? I'll tell you what, guys, while we got the battery in, let's weigh it. Keep your eye on it. Scales. Okay. With battery, 1.7, 49 grams. Just got to put some transfers on it and stick the undercarriage legs in, make up the oleos on the front. I'm going to try it first of all round the pole. So I've got the hook ready and she'll be good to go. I love the way you see a little glow through there. Look at that. Looks like an instrument panel. Thanks for watching my videos, guys. I've got another Guillow's I shall be building in a couple of weeks. I should be starting it. I won't tell you what it is yet, but he's 24-inch wingspan, so it's the 400 series, and it should go as well as this. So thanks for following me. Like, little button down there, Spitfire, and subscribe would be brilliant. Helps with the analytics, pushes us closer to 500, and yeah, we'll see you outside when the wind drops. We'll put a line on it, see if we can get it going around the pole. Of course, it will fly radar control, but not in my garden while we got this lockdown. Thanks again.